Hi, I'm Tiffany Johannes with Remax Executive and Charlotte Home Experts, as well as the Canopy Housing Foundation Board of Directors. I am here to talk to Frances Hall today. She started an organization called Beatties Ford Road Vocational Trade Center. And this program has done a lot in our community. I became aware of it through the Canopy Housing Foundation grant program last year, where we gave, I believe, a $3,000 grant to the organization to help with housing of students. And I was very excited that Ms. Hall could join us today because she not only has been involved in this program, but many others. She also owns her own construction company and has really just been a tremendous impact on our community and an incredible person from what I understand. So welcome, Frances. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so very much for having me to be a part of this today. I'm very grateful.
Well, as I looked at your program, it sounds like you guys do so much. Tell us a little bit about the Beatties Ford Vocational Trade Center, how you got it started, and a little bit about where we are today and kind of the story of what led you to do it.
Well, the Beatties Ford Road Vocational Trade Center is actually a spinoff from the Beatties Ford Road Family Counseling Center. Some 13 years ago, with the help of some other professional women, I started the Beatties Ford Road Family Counseling Center, which is a state licensed mental health and substance abuse agency. And I started this agency from monies that I made from my construction company, C4 Construction and Drywall. And my desire in opening up the mental health and substance abuse really came out of my own pain and experience of my daughter and her addiction. I knew nothing about how to help her. I was just in a situation as a mom trying to help a daughter that unfortunately became addicted to crack cocaine. And so I took the time and went back to school and opened up this agency, the Beatties Ford Road Family Counseling Center, and then began to learn what I can do to help my daughter, which really led me to helping other women. When the center opened, we were initially focusing in on how we could help women overcome the struggles of addiction and help those women maintain the custody of their children. I ended up having to get custody of my daughter's 4 children and raising them, and God just stepped right in and made all of it to be a blessing. And sometimes until we go through situations ourselves, we may not have a compassion for those that may be struggling in different issues of life. But from the Beatties Ford Road Family Counseling Center, Dr. Rosamuel Dawkins allowed me to utilize this building after he retired. He was a well-known doctor in the neighborhood. And he would always say to me, "Fran, you need to teach these young people about the construction industry and all the successes you had from it in raising your children." So in 2016, with the assistance of my sons who are in the construction industry and some other minority contractors that are friends of mine, we opened the Beatties Ford Road Vocational Trade Center, which is certified by the National Center of Construction Education and Research, the NCCR. All of us had to go to training to become certified instructors because we met the criteria of being journeyman. And then from there, I taught for the last 3 years, and that qualified me to be a master trainer. So now I can train other journeymen to get their teaching certification. And our facility can also work as a liaison for others who may want to open up a trade school and be certified under this NCCR. We are like a liaison now to get those schools licensed. But the greatest joy has been seeing young men and some young women come in here, learn trades that can develop into careers, go out into the marketplace, and make enough money to take care of themselves and families. And so our goal is to let this be a place of solace and refuge and opportunity for those that, according to Dr. Chetty's study that was made about the economics of America, unfortunately, our city, Charlotte, in his study, and I have spoken with Dr. Chetty, states that Charlotte, North Carolina, is the 50th worst city in the nation for upward mobility for minorities, and that certain people who live in certain zip codes in this city will be born and die in poverty. So when I read that study, I was determined to make sure that I could at least be an assistance in this city and those living in those zip codes to have a place where they didn't have to be a part of that statistic.
I've read that study as well, and it is quite alarming. And for you to step up and take the situation you did and turn it into something that is going to benefit not only your family, but the community as a whole is tremendous. When you talk about journeymen and you talk about people in your program, tell us a little bit about the number of people who've gone through your program and the number of people you'd like to see go through your program. I'm actually also interested in learning a little bit about, it sounds like you could train others to open similar programs in our area or across the state to continue to build on what you've created here in Charlotte.
Well, the fortunate thing too about my life is I have a lot of grandchildren. I have 14 grandchildren and 6 great grand, and my grandchildren, a lot of them, or most of them, have completed college or in the midst of completing college, and they know what I do here, and they've been involved through their lives and working in here during the summer months or times that they had breaks. And so I have one grandson that is an educator, and we've sat down and talked about educational reform.
Mm-hmm.
So one of our future goals, because we are also licensed with North Carolina North Carolina Department of Education as a high school, because a number of people come through here don't have their high school diplomas. So our future goal is to build a high school on a lot next door that would be equivalent to students that graduate high school. They would have an equivalent to a college degree when they graduate. So they'll get their high school diploma, but they would also graduate our vocational trade program. I look so forward to that. And we're hoping that since we are now in an opportunity zone, that we can kind of find the financing needed to build the school. And the school will have dormitory housing as a part of it. And hopefully we can catch some of these young people that are like aging out of the foster care program that are homeless. They could come here, continue to go to high school and get their high school diplomas and get them a trade as well. So it's not like a wasted 4 years. And this is not anything new. First of all, when we look back into the history of our own country, there were times when people could go to high school and graduate with a trade.
Right.
So we need to go back to those days and include various trades in our high schools. So when students complete 4 years of studies, they're not coming out now with nothing.
Right.
And as you may know too, everybody is not going to go to college. So we need to have some alternatives. I love the city of Charlotte. I love this city. God blessed me to come here and raise my children. And so my goal is to, communicate with our city council, our county commission, and our school board that we need some educational reform. We need to look at providing our young people alternatives, especially when they get into high school. I have a gentleman that's even helping us to be licensed that we could teach robotics in our high school. So we have a lot of great things on paper now that we want to do for this upcoming year. And as you know, everything takes money, and
That is true.
we need collaboratives, we need support. But I believe that with the help of people in our community and all that we can make this happen.
Well, what are some of the immediate needs, resources, whether it be a collaborator or money-wise, for what uses, or how can we help you most in that regard? I know that we've looked at a book drive you're doing and funding books and doing different pieces for students that you have. What can we do with some of the pieces that you've shared about starting a new school? How can people help?
Right now for our existing school, we've had this drive going on for a couple of years. Buy a book, save a life. Buy a book, save a life.
Nice.
Literally, a book can save a life. Most of the books that the students use here for any of the trades that they come into our pre-apprenticeship program, there are 3 books that's needed. And each of those books costs about $100. 2 of the books that our students receive that are their trade books, we allow them to keep those books.
Okay.
The first book, which is Core, an Introduction to Construction, they use those books for about a month and a half to 2 months, and then they give those books back. But their trade books we give to them because they'll have them to refer back to. We are so thankful that now we are certified by North Carolina Community College apprenticeship program. So students can now enter our program and be engaged with us for 4 years until they receive their journeyman certification.
That's
so
incredible.
The hours that they receive in classroom and the hours on the job is what it requires them. Those hours are required for them to receive their journeyman certification. So we're happy about that, and we are now building collaboratives with various companies, general contracting companies and prime subcontracting companies, that our students can go work with those companies and receive the on-the-job training hours needed for them to eventually receive their journeyman certification.
That is great. And from what I understand, you train students in everything from general construction to concrete to masonry, electricians, plumbers, the full gamut. And you also...
Right. What we do, we focus in on what is considered the trades that are on the critical path of construction. And these are the trades that's going to garner the higher wages. Okay. When building the foundation, you have to have concrete masons. You have to have framers, drywallers, electrical, plumbing, heating and air. And we make sure that our students know how to read blueprints before they leave and understand estimating, even material handling. So these are jobs that, number one, garner the higher wages. And these are the trades that there is a deficit in the industry for skilled craftsmen.
Right. With that, how many students are currently going through your program, and are you also housing them? I know that there's some housing subsidies or some programs that you work with on the housing side to make sure that your students have homes as well.
Yes, we have 2 houses that we utilize for housing young men that come through here that are homeless, or we've dealt with young men that are coming to us from surrounding cities like Matthews or Monroe, or young men that have aged out of the foster care system and they found themselves now homeless. And so this is a great need. That's why when we build the high school, we're going to go ahead and include the 3rd floor will be housing. We have been fortunate enough to acquire a building in Chester, South Carolina, where we're going to have another school. And right in downtown Chester, and we have another building that we will be renovating to have dormitory housing. Housing is such a big need, and if people are having to live outside. And let me tell you, let me back up 1 minute. What got me on this road of making sure that we can provide housing is I had a student coming, and every day he would come to school, I would see this big knapsack on his back.
Mm-hmm.
And then so one day I just asked him, I said, what is this big thing you're carrying on your back? He would take it and put it aside in his classroom. But every day he would come in, he would have this knapsack on, this big thing on his back. He said, oh, this is my tent. And I said, your tent? He said, Miss Hall, I'm homeless right now. But I am determined to finish my heating and air class so I can get a job where I can make enough money to take care of myself, because he was just doing like working at Walmart and working at restaurants as a dishwasher and could never make enough money to afford rent anywhere.
Right.
So that got to my heart. So I said, well, wait a minute. We can't have you living in the street, having to leave us and put up a tent somewhere. And so I visited where he was living. And since then, I continually go back there and take blankets and so on and so forth. But my son lives in a house where it's a fairly large house, but it's just him. So we decided to utilize that house to house our students in. And then we have another house that I rent from a minister, but he allows us to use the house to house students. And so that's how all of that began. And fortunately, him having a warm place to live, he did finish school. And I think he would have finished anyway, but I just could not see him living outside.
Well, you have a big heart, and you definitely have helped so many people in our community throughout the years, and just your strategy and your vision for the future to continue to help students to find a place for them to live if they do not have another home is truly remarkable. I commend you for that.
Thank you.
Definitely.
Well, I think there's a scripture in the Bible said, to much is given, much is required. And I have had, even as a young widow, because my husband was murdered years ago when my children were just babies. I've had the opportunity through the construction industry to raise my children and give them a good life. And so, and this is what I share with men and women that come through the door. This is an industry that, despite all of the misfortunes of your life, you can get a trade fairly quickly. Our pre-apprenticeship program lasts 6 months. And then they have the opportunity to come back, as I stated, and to continue on until they get their journeyman certification. But there's such a great need. Our students can walk out of here and make $20 to $30 an hour.
That is an incredible opportunity and step up and ability to turn someone's life around. You're doing incredible work. And even being in the construction industry as a woman for the period of time you have is just commendable, and so glad that you're smashing through the barriers for all of us and have been. Well,
I love the city of Charlotte, and I'm a believer in a great creator. I think he had me here for such a time as this. We live in a city where there's more construction going on than any other city in the Southeast. So our students are able to get jobs fairly quickly. So I just feel like I'm in the right place at the right time. Is it challenging? Yes, it is. We have a waiting list of over 300 people. And, I have to have finances to pay the instructors. Our tuition is $4,500 for 6 months of training, which includes their textbooks. So I tell people, if you want to sponsor a student, right now, most of our students receive financing from NC Works. But if they don't qualify, then we find ourselves trying to find the finances to provide their tuition.
Get
So
into
if
the
anyone
program.
out there would like to adopt a student and put them through school, just give us a call at 980-349-4067. That's 980-349-4067. And I can connect that person who would like to change a life with a young man or a young woman that has not qualified for NC Works. And you can put that person through school.
That sounds incredible. We also, throughout today, have been sharing your website and links and information to social media so that anyone who is interested in perhaps sponsoring a student, giving books, or giving donations for your future schools and dormitories have the opportunity to do so there. You are making a huge impact in our community and our surrounding areas, and I really appreciate what you're doing, and we hope that this gets a message out to more people to support your incredible organization. Beatties
Well,
for Folk.
and I thank you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving us this opportunity to put this out here. I'd like to say one other thing that's on my mind.
Sure.
If you are a home or a business owner and you need some work done, you need a door hung or an electrical fixture put up, or you're having some problems with your heating and air, we have our own handyman service here for our students that are about to graduate.
Okay.
With their instructors, we can come out and give you an estimate. It's going to be below the market rate, and we can provide those type of services to homeowners or business owners. Every trade that we offer here, we are able to provide that service.
That is great. And you have a long list of trades that you provide services for. So if you're a homeowner, or if you're a realtor or a business owner and you're looking for handyman services or any type of service, consider going to BattiesFordVocCenter.com or calling them to schedule an appointment to take care of whatever you need around your house, around your business, or for your clients. It goes a long way to help others in the community. So consider that as you have needs of your own. Again, her number is 980-349-4067. And she has done a tremendous job in our community. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us today. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you so very, very, very much. And this is the little quote that we say: the Beatties Ford Road Vocational Trade Center, where we provide a tool bag for success.
I love it. A tool bag for success. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Frances, have a great afternoon, and I look forward to talking with you soon. Thank you.
Thank you, and I appreciate your continued work in the community.
Thank you for yours.
Bye-bye.
Bye.